Hello, welcome to another Mamemeister 10-minute mashup. Today's game is very familiar to most of you. It's Pac-Man, and you can see there it came out in 1981. This game is, along with, well, probably E.T. was the game that was kind of always the most famous awful game for the Atari VCS. This game, Pac-Man, was a close second. It was pretty much panned at the time by the magazines. Rumour has it that the guy that wrote the game, I think he actually went on to write, is it Demon Attack or something, apparently wrote this in something like 2 weeks. He was given a 2 week deadline to write this, hence the reason a lot of people don't think it's very good. Now I've got a bit of memory, in fact I'll start the game instead of listening to me waffling. This game has got a lot of happy memories for me. I never actually had an Atari VCS, always wanted one. But in the UK it was £100 in 1978. There was absolutely no way my mum and dad were either could afford it or were going to give me that kind of money. So I never got one. But I had a mate called Nick Anderson who was his dad worked in oil rigs, and he very rarely saw his dad, obviously. So his dad used to make it up to him by spending an inordinate amount of money on him. And one of the things he bought him was the Atari VCS. Anyway, one day Nick told me about that he had this thing, so he came across to my house with it, and we fired it up. I think it was on a black and white TV actually. He fired it up, and so I can't. I'm a typical man, can't multitask, I can't talk and play games at the same time. He fired it up, and we literally played it for the whole day. I think it was during the summer holidays, and I managed. He said he was going to come back the following day with it, and I managed to convince him that it would be easier to just leave it in situ, and he can come back the next day. So he did just that. He left it with me, and I don't think I actually went to bed that night. I literally sat up all night to play the thing, and I think I ended up with really bad blisters because Atari VCS joysticks weren't the most kind of comfortable to use over a prolonged kind of time. Anyway, yeah, my thoughts of this game. I think it's quite unfair, the criticism it got. You know, you need to remember this is 1981 here. This machine's got something like 2K or 4K in it. Yeah, they probably could have done better. I think the biggest criticism of the game was the monsters flashing all the time. Apparently that was just to do with the actual hardware, the sprite hardware. Although they later on went to discover how they could actually get around the flashing sprites. But yeah, I mean it's alright. The map doesn't look anything like the actual map of the arcade one. But you know what, when you're 10 years old and it's 1981, you don't really care. I mean, it's sold by the bucket load, obviously being Pac-Man. But yeah, it plays a... Right, I'll need to stop talking because I can't get anywhere with this. It plays a really good game as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the graphics... One thing that's interesting with this, it doesn't seem to open its mouth at an angle. It's more or less, I don't know, it doesn't look like Pac-Man. And it was also criticised because when he moves up and down, he just keeps looking to the side. I don't believe that was lack of memory, it was probably more just because the guy had 2 weeks to write it. I suppose one of the hardest things about this game is when you're playing it and you eat a power pill, the monsters flash. However, with this game, as you can see, they flash all the time. So it's bloody difficult trying to actually see when the power pill things ran out. Right, damn, I'm going to complete this level. Oh, get the special thing. No, I can't. It's not the most playable using a gamepad, it has to be said. Yeah, playing this as a kid, I mean, at that point, it wasn't so much about a high score, it was more or less getting to the end of the level and then moving on to the next one. So all he did was, he would run round, get the power pill, grab it, get the power pill, eat as many tablets or power, what you call them, dots, as you could, and then go to the next power pill. It's only obviously later on, now that you see people playing Pac-Man to a high degree, you realise that you're supposed to actually try and leave the power pills to the last minute and get as many ghosts as you can. But yeah, I think this isn't a bad game. I've always, because it was, I've got fond memories of it. I quite liked it. I mean, just hearing the music just takes me right back to happy memories. You know, I mean, back in the day, you know, this was one of the first video games, and to be able to play something like this in your home TV was just absolutely mind blowing. I'm sure if this game was released now, it'd certainly come with a warning for those suffering from epilepsy due to the flashing sprites. But back then, no such thing existed. Damn it. What's interesting, I noticed at the top you get the two power pills, not power pills, the two dots stuck together, like so. Don't know what that's about. But yeah, apparently, I don't know if Atari actually made a lot of money with this game. Damn it. I think it was a big seller. I mean, I know it was old. It was the ET game that obviously the sort of urban myth was that there was hundreds of thousands of copies buried somewhere in the Nevada desert, which I'd heard a couple of years ago. Somebody was rumouring to try and dig them up again. Quite why they want to do that, I have no idea. Obviously, want to stick them on eBay. I did try one of the guys, Phil I think it was, who recommended I give, was it Phil or Brian? I do apologise, I've got the name wrong. He did ask me to look up Double Dragon in the Atari VCS, which I did do. Started recording a video, and then the bloody game crashed about 5 minutes in, so hence the reason I'm playing this. One thing that's I notice when I'm going through, looking through the list of games to find one to play, it would be the easiest thing in the world to just keep picking Atari VCS games, because let's be honest with you, graphically wise, they look bloody awful, most of them. There's very few good looking Atari VCS games. This is the stupid controls. But, you know, so it'd be easy to just keep picking game after game after game, but in the case of the Atari VCS, a lot of the games were really good. You know, you had to excuse the graphics because, you know, bear in mind the hardware they were running on. I mean, I'm deliberately not, obviously this mashup thing is like sort of retro bad games. I mean, there's plenty of games I've played in the 360, Xbox 360 and the like that are bloody woeful and cost you 50 odd pounds. Right, I'm going to not talk for 2 minutes and try and complete this. Not complete the game, complete a level. Come on, I'm hopeless. I'm going to have to use the tactics I used when I was 10, 11 years old. It's I'm using an Xbox 360 controller gamepad and it's bloody awful. I suppose I could technically map it to a little thumbstick, which might be marginally easier, but this is what I've got to use, so one interesting thing is I wonder why they didn't make the dots dot-like rather than log-like. I don't know. Because the resolution of TVs back then wasn't so great. Then again, see, it probably looked better than a CRT TV. I thought they'll go for nice chunky pills. Doesn't actually change the game at all, so come on. It would actually be interesting to see this game remade, because I mean some of the games that they're knocking out now for these kind of machines, old machines, they've obviously got the you know, they've absolutely they know the hardware inside out. Damn it. It'd be interesting to see somebody remake this game now. I'm quite sure they could probably get a pretty faithful copy of the original. It's just hopeless using this joypad. Absolutely hopeless. Come on, damn it, I'm over the 10 minutes, but I want to complete this. Come on. Right, listen guys, that's it. This is Pac-Man on Atari VC.